this evening? No guests. Well, welcome everyone. And next we will move along to the land acknowledgement. Lynette, would you like to state the land acknowledgement?
We pause to acknowledge that Solano County Democratic Central Committee of the Democratic Party sits on the land of the Miwok and the Pauwin people. We remember their continued connection to this region and give thanks to them for allowing us to live, work, learn, and pray in their traditional homeland. We offer our respect to their elders and to the Miwok and Pauwin people of the past and present.
Thank you. And moving to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Someday.
Okay. And we've determined that we have a quorum. Thank you. And thank you, Paula, for taking on the secretarial duties this evening. Jeanette Wiley can't be here. Let's move to the agenda. There's one change. I noticed that there's a typo in the bottom. It says that our e-board meeting is on the 2nd. It's actually on the 7th of June, the e-board meeting. That's a mistake in the agenda.
Through the chair, since that's election night, could we think about not meeting? Just a thought.
We could think about that.
Thank you.
All right, I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Who is that?
Tiffany.
Okay, here comes a poll.
Okay, it's moved and seconded.
Stay cooperate.
Everybody voted?
So it looks like we've got 19 people voting and 1 abstain. Is that enough time for everyone? Hearing no objections, I might end the poll. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, agenda passes.
Okay. So moving to the minutes of April 27th.
Motion to approve the minutes from April 7th.
Was that Tiffany?
Yes.
Ma'am.
Second, Virgil.
So we're ready to vote.
Moved and seconded. We'll launch the poll.
So I'm getting some text from people about the Zoom link. You all got that email from me today, right?
That's right.
I did.
Email.
I didn't.
Would you repeat that, please, Tom?
You got an email from the information resource officer with the link for tonight. Okay, if you didn't, please
I
check this
did.
down and whitelist my address. Or Stonewall Democrats. I'm sorry, Solano Democrats. Sorry, different now. Okay, it's been a minute. Minutes are approved.
Okay. So moving on to new business. We have number one is the future charter school resolution. Bridget Hunley, was your resolution committee able to meet on this?
No, we reviewed it. We were waiting to go back and forth, and we heard finally from San Bernardino, the original writer. So we did an initial draft of, substituting Solano County for San Bernardino County. And this is the resolution that Corey Penrose sent us. I sent you a draft with that language change so we can send it out to our people, or if we want to post it now, they can look at it and vote on it.
So
You have it in your email, or I can put it in the chat.
well,
I
I think
sent it to you and Jeanette to look at.
since well, probably in the last hour, I think since the rest of the committee hasn't had a chance to look at it, we're going to hold off on that for now.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure it was consistent with what San Bernardino did.
Okay, so we're going to put that on for we'll put that for next month.
Madam Margie, Lynette's hand is up, Margie.
Oh, Lynette.
My question is through the chair to Bridget. Are you asking us to endorse that resolution to go forward to the state party?
No, not necessarily. This is something San Bernardino has already submitted. And so we wouldn't be needing to do that at this point. This is just for Solano County. This is something Corey Penrose sent us that San Bernardino had already done.
I understand all of that. I'm asking, do we need to, okay, let me back up.
Yeah, if we want it to go to resolutions at the state party, we do need to vote on it tonight. That's your question, right?
That was my question, because it will be too late. Now, we don't have to vote on it tonight. You can poll the executive board and do it that way and get approval. But the deadline for resolutions, I believe, is June 7th or 8th, something like
It's
that.
30 days, yeah. 30 days before the meeting.
Right, so it's like June 7th.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make a motion, but in an effort to be able to support this, I would suggest that we send it to poll the board.
Yeah. Do we want to have Margie or Jeanette, or do we want me to just share their screen on it?
I think we'll share it with everyone after the meeting.
That's fine.
Okay.
Monica Brown's hands up, Margie.
Oh, sorry, Monica.
And I put it up because I wasn't sure where we were going to go. I have not had a chance to read it at all. And my thought was if we had to vote on it, so if that was where we wanted to go, that maybe we could do something next week where I'm not sure what the vernacular is like, but a Google Doc or something like that comes out and we have X amount of time to vote, something like that, if it needed be. But that was my only thought, if it needed to be, because again, I apologize. I had a meeting last time we met and I just haven't had a chance to get caught up on everything.
We haven't seen it.
Okay. I think we're going to take a look at it at the e-board. Okay, moving on, legislation committee. Susan George, were there more recommendations?
Yeah, hi, I'm standing in for Susan tonight. This is Connie Hamilton. And you all should have received an email late last night. Poor Jeanette was at I can't even imagine what they were talking about till 1 a.m., but at the city council meeting in Vacaville. But first of all, we want to thank folks who contacted their legislators earlier this week to ask them to support our endorsed California state bills, climate bills, and we did very well. We 8 of our bills made it out of committee. One was already in the other house, so is just moving forward. And one didn't come out of committee. So there are 8 active bills, and the ones that are active have already, about half of them have already passed their house of origin. So that's great, and they're moving on. So it looks good for all of them. But there were 2 other bills, and particularly since we lost one and we may lose another one or more, there were 2 other bills that are pertinent to Solano County, as well as they do affect environmental justice communities as well, and thought that they would be well suited for the Central Committee to endorse them as well. One is a bill by Senator Dodd that actually has been put on a special consent calendar, which means it's a done deal. And then the other one has already passed the Senate, and will be moving on to the Assembly. And you all should have received it. Tom has it if anyone wants to see the documents, but I have sent them out last night. They're a little bit updated now because one of the other bills did pass today, 1173, which is the CalPERS and CalSTRS divestment bill by Gonzalez. That passed the Senate today, so we'll be moving on as well. So our bills are doing very well, and just here to ask for, the committee has already voted to support these 2 bills for endorsement through the Central Committee. So we just asked, do we have a second on that motion? And so we ask for approval to officially endorse as the Central Committee the 2 remaining bills.
I would second.
So wait, can I ask which bill, I was very confused if we were voting on anything tonight.
Yeah, so we are voting on, so I sent the document out. I can, Tom, I sent you the PDF and I sent you the link, or I can put the link in the chat if people want to open it themselves. If you want to share the document, I can show you exactly what we're voting on.
Bonnie, there is a hand up through the chair. I see Lynette Henley. I don't know if it was to address what's going on here, but go ahead, Lynette.
Okay, first of all, if it's coming from a committee, you don't need a second. So it's coming from the Ledge Committee, so we don't need to second it. Secondly, I thought that was, you did the poll of the committee, right? That's what that vote was earlier.
Correct. Yeah, and it was a majority. I heard from 8 people and they all voted yes.
Okay, so at this point, I think the bill numbers need to go to Tom so that we can vote.
Yes. Well, and I sent him all that earlier today. He might not have seen it,
Yeah,
but I can put it in the chat. I mean, I can.
yeah, I think he's asking for the bill numbers.
Yeah.
Yes. So let me
He
just
can
put
create
it.
a poll for us to vote.
Oh, okay. Got you, Tom.
Is that, am I correct, Tom?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Got it. Okay, Tom, it's SB 1078. That's financing sea level rise resilience, which certainly affects our county. And then SB 833, which is a Dodd bill. It's Community Energy Resilience Act. And what that would allow is for local governments as well as communities to kind of decentralize the grid, to give them energy and be able to use solar and kind of share solar and backup batteries. So it would very much benefit resiliency from PG&E is basically what it would do.
So endorse those 2 bills and do what?
Well, we endorse them so that we will follow them, and that at some point we're gonna, we had decided last time that we would write letters to the authors, and we've come out and been able to communicate and endorse them. So that's what we would do eventually with the bills.
So I actually did send letters to all the authors of the bills that were approved last month. And SB 833 was one of the bills. I already sent Bill Dodd a
Well, that's
message
nice.
saying that we support, because it was on the list of bills from last month. So it's only the 1078 that's new.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't, for me, for my records, 833 wasn't on the list, but that's okay. That if you all, maybe you recall better than I do, but from my standpoint, we didn't have it on the list, but I don't mind it being on the list.
So
So
So it's just those single bill 1078.
yeah.
that's
Okay.
fine. If we officially, okay, so if the recollection is that we officially support 833, that's great. So it would just be for 1078.
Lynette, did you have a clarifying question? Your hand's still up.
This is after the vote.
Okay.
Comes the poll for the one.
Why isn't it doing it? I don't know what's wrong with it.
So there's 25 people, and I think 24 of you can vote, but we only have 20 people voting. So who's asleep? Someone woke up. 3 seconds. And it's been a minute. Okay, so 20 people voted and it passed. No nays, no abstains.
Now that those have passed, this is through the chair to Bonnie and the Ledge Committee. Are you planning to submit these to the state party for endorsement, or were they already endorsed by the state party? And if so, they're due by, I believe, June 7th also. The Ledge chairs or co-chairs are coming to the Region 2 meeting on the 5th. So if you have questions about the process, because it is completely changed, to submit to the state party. I like what we're doing as a central committee, so I'm all for that. But if you want to take it to the party level, there's a whole new process.
I would love to, Lynette. So if we can, so I would just come to Region 2 meeting and ask for support from the region.
No, you're going to have to go on the website and see what the new process is.
Got it. Okay.
Because the region can no longer endorse.
I see.
Right.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, Kathy Kethridge has her hand up.
Kathy?
Hi, I just want to thank the Ledge Committee for all the work that they did and for the emails that went out. I think it's fantastic. Thanks so much.
Yes. Thank you. They did a lot of work on that. Next, we have our Pride Proclamation that everyone got a copy. Thomas, you would like to present that? Thomas? Are you putting it up? Okay. There we go.
Is he talking?
We can't, Tom, are you muted? Because we can't hear you.
And I said some very beautiful words.
Oh.
But right. So in recognition of Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Queer Pride Month, June 2022, whereas 52 years ago in 1969, a riot at the Manhattan Gay Bar Stonewall Inn in retaliation to a police raid precipitated the modern fight for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ rights. And whereas because of the acts of courage from those who demanded justice, from those who quietly pushed for progress, our nation has, made great strides in recognizing what these brave individuals long knew to be true in their hearts, that love is love and that no person should be judged by anything but the content of their character. And whereas the 2015 landmark Supreme Court decision was a historic victory for LGBTQ Americans, guaranteeing marriage equality in all 50 states and ensuring the dignity for same-sex couples, therefore all couples, and whereas every partnership that was not previously recognized on the line for every American who was denied their basic civil rights, this monumental ruling instilled newfound hope, affirming the belief that we are all freer when we are all treated as equals. And whereas despite this extraordinary progress, LGBTQ Americans still face discrimination simply for being who they are, and there remains much work to do to extend the promise of our country to every American. And whereas in the memory of the 49 victims of the 2016 Pulse nightclub massacre in Orlando, transgender individuals were murdered for who they are and the history of violence against our community. It is never more important than that we continue to push for equality, protections, and acceptance of LGBTQ people everywhere. And whereas in 2022, the LGBTQ community has seen a rise in attempts to remove parental rights of transgender youth to provide physical and mental care as they see fit, remove the rights for these youth to participate in school activities as they identify, and remove the possibility for transgender youth to flourish and be their true selves. And whereas this is the 24th year of the Solano County LGBTQ community coming together to show our pride in Solano County through service and support of the LGBTQ community and organizations known as Solano Pride and Vallejo Gay Network. And whereas during Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer Pride Month, as we wave our flags of pride high and march boldly forward in parades, demonstrations, let us celebrate how far we have come and reaffirm our steadfast belief in the equality and the equal dignity of all Americans. And whereas the Democratic Party of Solano County proudly stands with the LGBTQ community and with all communities who struggle for the basic human rights for acceptance, visibility, safety, acknowledgement, and equitability in the quest for full equality under the law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Margie Olson, Chair of the Solano Democratic Central Committee, and the Central Committee, do hereby proclaim June 2022 as Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer Pride Month. Further, we ask that all Solano County Democrats join us in honoring this month in the County of Solano, California, adopted by Solano County Democratic Central Committee, May 2022. Need a drink.
I move that we adopt it.
I make a second, John Fox.
So it's been moved and seconded that we adopt the proclamation.
Launching the poll.
Monica, did you have a comment? Your hand's up.
Yeah, Tom, since I don't have it in front of me, there was one word where it said ever and you indicated never. In terms of the spelling, I think it might have been the third paragraph. It is ever, and I think you read it is never.
Okay, so it's as written, not as my southern
Okay,
mouth said it.
not a problem. Just didn't want to send something out and have an issue. So thank you.
Mhm. Thank you. So 18 or 19 have voted. Who's asleep? There's 23 people in here. At least 22 of you should vote. 20. Okay, a minute has passed. Motion passes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. And thank you, Tom, for writing this, spending the time on that. Next is our report on headquarters, Bridget Hunley.
And Don and I will be doing this report together. So we have, as I told Margie, our official meeting is June 11th, which is when Congressman Garamendi is sending a rep, as well as Congressman Thompson. But Don and I have been talking about funding possibilities because we were asked to do so by Margie. Don, do you want to go over what we talked about a little bit?
Just that a quick check of resources online indicates that space is going for about $2 a square foot per month. So we are, unless someone has a very small space in a very disadvantaged part of town, we're looking at $2,000 and up a month. And if you look at our treasurer's report, once we set aside money to pay for printing out the door hangers, which all of our candidates love, we're pretty tight on resources. So the discussion about our headquarters needs to be taken very carefully.
Don, I think between state and federal, you said it was about $10,000, give or take, that we have available after that.
Well, the treasurer's report indicates a total of about over 15,000, but given what we spent last cycle, we're probably looking at $4,000 for between $3,500 and $4,000 for printing the door hangers. And that'll be all federal. So we have to back that out in our assumption before we look at pricing for headquarters. And let's not forget that a headquarters is not just rent, it's also internet access and the other expenses that go along with having a facility open if we do that.
Exactly. And that's traditionally for about a 3-month period, give or take. We usually open in August. So it's usually August, September, October through November election. So if those who are interested, Margie and Jeanette should have the links for the Zoom. They'll send it out for the June 11th meeting. We'd love to have people attend that. We, again, have reps from our congressional representatives coming. They have historically paid, or John Garamendi, I should say, has historically paid for half the headquarters, half of each month's cost. And so we're going to obviously make the same ask for both of our reps. And I think we'll know more at that point. So any questions, comments?
Yes, Lynette Henley, hands up.
Lynette.
Thank you. A couple of questions. Have you looked in both Upper County and Vallejo for space?
Yeah, those are the, and Don may want to speak to this too. Those are the spaces that we found. Don, you said there were at least, what, 2,500, give or take?
Yeah, the prices I quoted were for both areas.
Okay.
It was running about $24 a square foot per year or $2 a month for something that looked doable. And I will say that the market appears very tight, at least based on what's available online.
Okay.
So
That's my first question. And I know in speaking with Garamendi, he is interested in having an office in Vallejo because that's an area that's new to him and trying to get more visibility in this area since he's trying to retain that seat. So
Yes.
I think if he's going to give any money, it would have to be a location in Vallejo for him
Yes.
to commit to that. And then secondly, have we talked to our new assemblywoman? Is she interested in kicking in any money, or will she be elected in in June? Does she have to go to the November primary? I guess that's my question.
She has to
Yes.
go to November.
Yeah.
So she may not be able to kick in as much as Garamendi, but she may be willing to kick in some too. And again, a candidate that is not really known, and it's known now, but needs to have that visibility in the Vallejo area too. So hopefully, if wherever we move, hopefully it'll be somewhere in Vallejo that we can find a space because I know those two candidates are interested in being in Vallejo for their elections. Thank you.
Yes, my understanding from speaking with Congressman Garamendi is that he is interested in having a place in Vallejo, and he will be speaking or having his rep speak to that at the meeting as well. But again, we also have, obviously, if we want to have more than one location, then Mike Thompson would potentially have to pay for something in Vacaville. But these are things that can be discussed at the meeting on June 11th.
Yeah.
But definitely, people want something in Vallejo.
So Bridget, isn't there something about national candidates versus statewide candidates as far as the funding?
I think they're thinking state and federal. So state and federal, yeah, if we have certain people at our headquarters, for instance, if it's coming from Congressman Garamendi, then, all of the money for certain things has to come from our federal account. So we do have to be very careful about how we allocate that. And that's what we've had to do in the past as well. So again, that's why we have these meetings, coming up again, so we can carefully discuss who pays for what and, how we do that.
So
again, also for our door hangers, all the money will have to come from federal too.
So we're looking forward to your report next month. And it looks like there's a few more questions. Bonnie, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. So I want to go back to Congressman Thompson. He has not, I know that in the Vallejo area, he had been somewhat engaged. I think he should be more engaged in this regard. He kind of spends a lot of time in the Napa area of his district. And it would be nice if he were more present with our group. And I know that doesn't mean we should move our office, in North County, but I think he needs to be really queried about where is his support in this.
Oh, definitely. And again, his district is now Vacaville. Due to the redistricting, and John Garamendi is still Fairfield, but he's now also
I know where their districts are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see
Just
Don's
for where they're
hands
going to
up.
want to send their funding.
Don's hand is up.
Go ahead, Don.
yeah, if people will let me start speaking, thank you. I just playing devil's advocate for Congressman Thompson. He doesn't actually represent Vacaville in North County until after the November election. So he can only do North County stuff on campaign time, or he should only do North County stuff on campaign time. So there's a balancing act there. I do think, again, our finances look tight at this moment, depending on what we can raise from our fellow candidates. But I will urge that the committee to remember that while the bulk of these South County races are various shades of blue, we are actually fighting Republicans in North County. So it would be nice if we could have a strong presence up here as well. Vallejo is important for the congressman and the assembly member, but we have Republicans to beat in North County as well. So hopefully the committee will consider that as we're laying our plans for November.
Okay, so we'll look forward to your report, and anyone who's interested in being on the headquarters committee, the meeting's going to be on the 11th of June, and I'll send the link. Bridget sent it out this morning. I'll send it to you, or Jeanette will when she gets back. So moving on to public comment for meeting guests. So I didn't think we had any meeting guests, but maybe someone came since I asked before. Is there any?
So I just need you to remind you, Margie, to open public comment, and if there is none, then close public comment, and you can go on with your agenda.
Okay, we'll open public comment. Is there anyone from the public? So we'll close public comment and go on to announcements. And well, the first announcement is the same announcement that was in last month, but I want everyone to remember that there are officer elections next month. So it's time to think about running for a position on the executive board. And it's also time to think about nominating people. I mean, I'm looking around, anybody that is active and doing things on the committees seems like they might be a good choice for e-board. Any other announcements?
I saw Tom's hand up and Paula.
Tom?
Actually, Paula was first.
Oh, Paula?
All right, I'll be quick. I have two announcements. One, I have Garamendi yard signs. I have 100 of them. His office sent them all to the United Dem so we could get them out to the various clubs. So I'm happy to deliver them. I need people to send me addresses and numbers of how many you want. Like I said, I have 100 of them and they're big yard signs. My second announcement.
Tiffany next, because she has the same thing.
Pardon?
Tiffany actually has the same announcement. Am I right, Tiffany?
Yeah, I have 200 yard signs as well. So between us, we have about 300 in South County. It's okay. The more the merrier.
Yeah, I just don't want them to end up in my garage.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day. My second announcement is that we did take a poll at the United Dems, and our hello goodbye party for Thompson and Garamendi we are gonna require proof of vaccination. Those are my announcements. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Tom?
So the Solano Pride and Gay Network and other LGBTQ organizations are hosting a Solano County-wide Pride picnic on Mare Island on June 19th in the afternoon. We ask that you go to the Juneteenth festivities in the morning and then come over and bring a picnic so that you can participate in both events. They're right near each other. Also, June 12th, it's going to be a Pride event in Vacaville. Not sure what all is going to happen there. I'm still sketchy on the what's going on. Jeannie may be able to tell us more. But anyway, so just wanted to bring those up. Also happy to announce that all the cities are making Pride proclamations in Solano County, and we are raising flags in all the major cities. And I hope I'm not dissing anyone, but it's Vallejo, Benicia, Fairfield, and Vacaville. We're still working on Dixon, but we do have confirmation that all the cities in Solano County are making proclamations. So you can
Great.
check out solanopride.org and you can see the calendar of events if you want to attend any of those. And also the flag raising times are on there. So June 1st is going to be busy.
Okay, well, thank you. Cassandra James?
Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. I just wanted to share that I will be hosting a meet and greet for Assemblywoman Lori Wilson at Liddell's Shoe Store in Vallejo. I will send the flyer out to the committee. So if you're interested, just feel free to give me an email or text me. But again, I'm hosting a meet and greet for Assembly Member Lori Wilson. Thank you.
Do you have the date?
June 3rd. I'm sorry.
Okay. Bridget?
Hi there, everyone. I want to thank people who have been volunteering with us continuously through our NorCal for Biden group for phone banking and text banking, as well as voter protection. Georgia had their primary on Tuesday. Stacey Abrams is the nominee, the Democratic nominee for governor. So thank you very much for your help there. We're going to need more help going into November. This is going to be tough. So I want to encourage everyone. We'll send out the links again for those who want to volunteer with us. And we're going to need everybody's help. So thank you so much.
John Fox? John Fox, hand is up.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I just want to announce I'm having a kickoff on June, kickoff too for football, but not now. A kickoff for my re-election campaign for trustee of the Vallejo City Unified School District. It will be Saturday the 4th at Shelley Lockmiller and Kathy's house here in Vallejo. And I can put something in the chat to show the event's information. Thank you.
And it's at 12, right, John?
12 to 2 on Saturday, June 4th, here in Vallejo.
Wow. That week is full. Okay. Madam Chairperson, is back in your hands. No, I don't see any other hands up.
No more announcements.
I have one. This is Miguel. I can't get my hand up for some reason. Anyway, a couple of things. Apparently, Garamendi is going to be much more proactive in terms of trying to reach the Latino community in Vallejo, which is about 25% of the population. It's going to be a hard thing. I've done the liturgy presentations at at St. Vincent's, which holds about 500 people. And I'll ask the question, how many of you can vote? Not that many hands go up. How many of you have children 18 or older that could vote? You know, almost all the hands go up. How many of you know if you're 18-year-old or older is registered to vote? Very few hands go up. So Garamendi, Debbie Gibbs, who's in charge of all of his offices, has asked me to pull together a meeting of a few leaders in the Latino community, no more than about 8, because then it turns into something else. So we're going to meet at my house next week, about 8 of us, and try to come up with some strategies and present that to Garamendi to see what he wants to pursue. Just letting you know.
Well, great.
See, Dr. Bonnie's hand is up.
Bonnie, do you have any announcement?
I'm just applauding Miguel and his efforts.
Okay. Okay, Madam Chair, is yours.
Okay, so we're going on to reports, and everyone has submitted written reports. If you need to say something more or have a further report, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I want everyone to be sure and read the reports that we send out, and people spend their time writing up for us. So is there
I see 2 hands up.
Okay.
Tom's hand was first and Monica's behind him.
Okay, Tom.
You're on mute.
Okay, there. Is that done? Yeah. All right. So the information resource officer's report went out. All of you should have got it. We have been busy. I say we, the royal we, but me and the campaigns working to canvas and use PDI to its fullest extent to leverage that technology. One of the things that the executive board did vote to do was to send an email blast to the county, to everyone who is in PDI that was had an email address. And we did that. There is a cost associated with it, but Sharon Henry's campaign has stepped up to say that they will pay for it. So the central committee will not be out anything, that we will be reimbursed, but we do have to pay for it from our accounts because the contract is between us and PDI, and it was sent on our account. And so if you look at the report, I am asking that the committee approve the expenditure that the executive board approve, or I guess it's not really approve, it's, oh, Margie, what did I put in that?
Well, we would recommend that we
Yeah.
spend money for our candidates in the primary. The candidates in the general all have the door hangers, and this is what we can do for our candidates now. We really weren't expecting an expense, but it turns out that we have to pay this. So we would like the county to approve it. And as Tom said, Sharon Henry has offered to make a donation to the Central Committee in the same amount of the money that we're spending. So I see there's some questions. Carrie?
Monica was next.
Okay.
Monica was next.
I'll let my vice chairs.
Are you done? Are you done?
It was not in
Tom?
regard to
I'm
this.
not done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Tom, are you done?
No, I'm not, because I have a
Oh.
motion to approve or to support the action by the executive board to spend $418.33 for the email blast that we sent on behalf of the endorsed candidates.
I'll second, Mrs. Carey.
So it's been moved and seconded that we approve the expenditure for the email blast.
Anyone have any questions?
I'm
Okay, I
sorry,
have
who
two.
second for the notes? Who seconded that?
I did, Paula Carey Birdseye.
Thank you.
My hand is up to give a report, so it's kind of hard. You have hands up.
Oh, you're right.
Reports, and he's trying to do a motion, so go. I
He's
hope
got
you have a
3
poll.
hands up.
You have a poll?
Yep. So no questions? Good. And while people are still voting, I just wanted to let folks know that this is an option that we can make available to endorsed candidates, provided they fund it. We can use the email list from PDI, but we can make that a standard practice if they provide the funding. Okay, it's been a minute. Motion passes.
Okay, we'll go to further reports.
Okay, Monica Brown was next, then Lynette Henley.
Oh, I apologize for not sending out the Board of Soups. That I'm gonna have to add that to my litany of things to work on. A quick update, number one, yesterday at the Board of Soups, we took and funded the $50,000 to the Kyle Highland Foundation. I was able to get John Vasquez to bring it back since he was on the prevailing side when we gathered more information. So that worked out well. Number two, we are going to be having budgets at the end of June. If you are interested and have nothing better to do than to watch us go through where the $1 billion that comes to us goes. Number three, we're still dealing with the American Rescue Plan. Still having dialogue on what the county is going to be doing. We've had proposals come. If that is something that your nonprofit is interested in, you need to send me something so I can show you how one should put it together. And other than that, I'm trying to think if there was anything else at the board meeting. Oh, it was very interesting when Jim Spearing indicated about immigration and then water. So that was fun. And then we have a gentleman from Benicia who wants us to end the emergency that California still has, without the understanding that that is a good thing for us to be under. And then George Gwynn decides that he wants us to ban books. So all in all, it was a fun board meeting. So thank you.
Okay, Lynette?
Lynette?
It takes a minute to get off of mute, okay? It's not instantaneous. Is this where you want me to talk about Malahat?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do it.
You're as Region 2 Director.
No problem. Hold on one second. Thought I had it up. Oh, go to somebody else and come back because I don't have it up anymore.
Carrie?
Oh, no, I have it. Never mind. I went to the wrong place. Am I still open?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from the joint statement of the California Democratic Party statewide officers, Rusty Hicks, Betty Yee, David Campos, and April there. Tonight, we received the formal resignation of the California Democratic Party Secretary Malahat Rafi. We are grateful for the Secretary's Rafi's many years of service to our party and fully respect her decision to focus on personal matters at this time. Per our bylaws, the party executive board will make an interim appointment to fill the vacancy in the office of secretary at the upcoming meeting on July 8th through 10th. A formal election to fulfill the term will take place at the state convention in spring 2023. In the meantime, we will continue to do the hard work of engaging 10 million Democrats across California to ensure their voices are heard at the ballot box in the upcoming June primary and beyond. So Malahat, for those of you that are not aware, has in her personal life some federal issues and financing that is not part of the report from the party. But if you Google her and you want more information, you are welcome to do that. But there are candidates. I know one candidate has put her name into the race, and that's Diana Love, who also ran for secretary in the last election. And I expect many more will come forward as this goes forward. And there will probably be a special election or something. I don't know if we have alternates for the DNC because Malahat also served at the DNC. She was one of our California elected people for the DNC. So, and a reminder, our Region 2 meeting is June 5th from 2 to 4. Lots of stuff is happening that day. I hope to keep the meeting short and sweet. It is required, and that's why we're having it. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Carrie Birdseye?
Just wanted to bring your attention to the Progressive Democrats of Benicia report that I shared via chat because I didn't get it out prior to this meeting. So please give it a read. Thank you.
Hey, John Fox.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to let everyone know, as a trustee on the Vallejo City Unified School District, there is an article in Times Herald from our Superintendent Spalding regarding the Texas shooting from yesterday. And further, I want to talk about, I'm also the president of the Solano County School Board Association, where we do trainings for superintendents and trustees throughout the county of Solano. Last Monday, we put on a training for SEL, social emotional learning. And I want to talk about that real quick, give you a few facts, and then let you know we're going to continue this very needed training. Before COVID, we had a lot of suicides and problems, but since COVID, it's been exemplified. And we've had a suicide in Vallejo just last month. one of our students, Ann and Travis, a few months ago. I want to give you a few numbers. With boys, suicide rates up about 4%. With girls, suicides up 51%. And that is also shocking because of social media. So social media has a huge effect on that as well. African-American students, LGBT students are also at a rise for suicide. The county office has a program. They've helped 238 students this year that have either wanted to harm themselves or harm other students. And of those 238, we want to try to get information how other students can get access to that instead of calling the federal suicide hotline on posters, have something more local. But unfortunately, for the students in Solano County, they have to be recommended by a counselor or an administrator at their school to get the county service. So those are the only ones that got the 238 support from our county office. We're going to continue this very needed, the county board in the fall, the social emotional learning for our superintendents, trustees in Solano County. The numbers were very depressing, very sad, and it's something we need to work on. I know you've heard my reports that we've also, the last few years, we've done a lot of equity work, but now we're shifting gears to social emotional learning. And what's so sad is a week ago we did that, and then just yesterday what happened in Texas. Anyways, working hard to try to get the information out, and we want all of our superintendents, all of our trustees to be questioning on their board what's in place. What are teachers doing? What are schools doing to help? I know as a teacher, we do morning meetings every day. We do surveys to check what's going on, how our students are feeling. But unfortunately, our EL students can't really access those surveys so well. Or resource students, they don't understand the questions. So sometimes the data isn't very clear to understand what the students are telling us. Anyways, that's a lot to put on you, but I wanted to let you know what I'm working on with the county and trying to present through the county to help with this ongoing program. Thank you very much. That's my report.
Thank you. Madam Chair is yours. I see no other hand. Oh, Tiffany, I didn't see you come up. I'm sorry.
It's okay. John, I just wanted to kind of put this on your purview as well, since you sit on that committee. Just make sure when you're starting to talk about like mental health support, that you are really attacking what the issue actually is. There is no curriculum in VCUSD to help support middle school or high school when it comes to SEL. It is no standard anything. It's, you know, it's either second step or you can do whatever it is that you think that you can do within your classroom. So there's no standardized curriculum, and that would be something that I encourage you all to look at. I've made suggestions over the last few years around getting Lincoln Child Center to come to Vallejo to help with that onboarding. They have great curriculum. So I just wanted to have you put that on your purview.
Thank you, Tiffany. And I agree. Having morning meetings and having a survey 3 times a year is not effective. It's not enough. So the county is offering PBIS training, positive behavior support, but that's one avenue, but I agree there needs to be more. So Tiffany, I hear you loud and clear, and that's why I'm pushing for this training to happen. And the trustees throughout Solano County are questioning, we're not doing enough. What we need to be doing more. And some are not doing hardly anything because everyone says they're too busy. We're not too busy. Look what happened yesterday. So thank you, Tiffany. I agree 100%.
Okay, thank you. So moving on, do we have any reports from committees? I know we heard from some committees already. Just checking, if you want to make a report, you can raise your hand. Okay, so moving to old business. Well, I have on here awards banquet. Vernile, is there anything new about that? I saw that you got a committee together names, but I don't know if you had any meetings.
No, we haven't had any meetings. No, it'll just be Jeanette and I together on that one. Okay. With no meetings as of yet.
Yeah. Okay, so fundraiser. Well, Tiffany, we had a fundraiser. You want to make a report on how it went?
You guys raised $450. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. And that brings us to adjournment. So thank you all for coming.
I have something, Marjorie.
Oh, yes. Yeah. John.
May I be recognized?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I was wondering if I can please make a motion that we can adjourn the meeting with a moment of silence for the shooting victims in Texas.
Yes, let's do that.
I would
I'll
also like
second
to
that.
add Buffalo as well as what happened in Southern
Orange
California.
County, yes. All three. Yes.
Second.
Don, you have a question?
No, I just think while we think about the mass shootings, let's not forget, unfortunately, this is something that's going on every day around our country. Just that for better or for worse, not all of them are in enough numbers to make the headlines. We have way too many victims of gun violence. And I ask we adjourn in memory of all our victims, not just the ones who make the headlines.
So there's a motion to adjourn in memory of gun violence victims all over the United States.
Okay.
So the meeting is adjourned.
Stay safe.